here I go again, making one of my street cars into a race car. Welcome back to the laboratory. We're working on the GTO still. Last time we put in the clutch, and I promised you next time we were going to put in the Racepak so that we could dial in the clutch. And well, since we did a Racepak installation before on the Mustang, we should do something else. So we're going to look into putting the 411 rear gears in there as well. So if you watched last time, again, we left off with putting the clutch in, and to get the clutch dialed in properly, we need to know the clutch slip. So how we get that is from the Racepak, we can monitor engine RPM and drive shaft RPM. And then from the two, we can do the math to see what the difference is between the two of them to get the clutch slip. So again, I've already done a detailed video on Racepak installation when I did it on the Mustang, so I'll leave a link for that here somewhere. We're going to go through it quickly on this, and then we're going to get into the rear end stuff. Let's see how it goes. So the strange chromoly yoke that I bought was like 6 months before they started adding this machine step so that you could put a speed sensor magnet ring on there. So I need to pull this off, put the new yoke on, mount the magnets, and then we need to make some kind of bracket off here for the sensor itself. So unfortunately, I don't have a 1 1/8 impact socket, so we really shouldn't be using an impact gun with a regular socket, but we can loosen the pinion nut just by holding the yoke. So I've got a 1x1 square tube here with a couple of holes drilled in bolts for the 1350 U-joint bolt spacing. And if we put this on here, and again, we got 4 inches of leverage on this thing, then we can get this thing loose without having to use impact. Okay, so we'll get the old one off, we'll get the new one on with the magnet, and then we can start making our bracket to hold our speed sensor. All right, we were going to mount the Racepak in the trunk, but when I started working out the logistics, it just wasn't going to be an optimum thing. It was going to be really hard to get out the SD card. So decided to hide it under the passenger seat. So we're inside the GTO here. I built a bracket that's going to bolt up to the seat mounting bracket. And we've fished the wire in under the seam of the carpet. We chased the speed sensor wire through underneath. And fortunately, there was already nice grommet sitting there on the floor. I'll show you what it looks like underneath in a minute. Lyle, if you're watching this, I hate you for gluing down the carpet. Pushing these wires through was just an absolute nightmare. So on this end, we've got the yellow wire. We need to hook that up to our MSD TAC output. The red goes to a switched power. The black goes to ground. And we've built a little switch bracket here. So this will mount on top of the seat, and it'll be out of view of most people. And I can just reach down, press the momentary button to start the data log. So that's the blue wire, and then it just grounds to the other seat post here. So let's get the rest of this stuff hooked up. Let's get the seats back in, and let's get this thing on the road and see if we are getting a speed sensor signal that is the correct speed. All right, we got everything wired in, and now we'll just test. So there's an LED on the back of this thing. Let's just set this thing up. So you can watch. So if I turn the key on, we should get a solid red, which we do. If I hit the switch here to start data logging, it should blink. So it's saving a log, so that's good. Okay, so we know the wiring is good. We'll hook up the laptop to this thing and fire it up and see if we can get a good RPM signal and spin the wheels and see if we can get a drive shaft signal. All right, so we fired the car up and we still have it on jack stand so we can put it in gear, and we pulled the data log from it. So the red line here is RPM, the green line is drive shaft speed, and this was in first gear, so the engine to drive shaft ratio, which hopefully you can see here, is like 293, 304, 301, 303. It's going slow, so the resolution isn't very good. But we've got a 299 first gear in this thing, so that's correct. So we know everything is set up good with the race pack. At this point, we can put the passenger seat back in, and we can get back to working on the rear end. Underneath the car, there's a grommet where the speed sensor wire comes through, and then we've got it tie wrapped to emergency brake cable. And we're using the, if you can see it, get the light up here. We're using the muffler hangers and some tie wraps to route it, and then we got the connector there, and then it comes down to the speed sensor here. So we've changed the yoke. We've got the, focus, we've got the magnetic ring on here now, and we've just got a temporary bracket to hold this thing. There is a bracket that Strange makes for 12 bolts and 8.8 and Dana 60s where you drill into this rib and mount the bracket. I've got that on order. I'm hoping it's going to come in time, but in the meantime, this temporary bracket will allow me to go down the road and test out the system anyway. So at this point, underneath the car, we can put the drive shaft back in and hook the exhaust back up and then be done underneath the car. The diff, well, we'll talk about that later. Let's see what the oil looks like. Okay, no big chunks so far, but have a look at that. Magnetic drain plug, and there's all kinds of shrapnel on there. So yeah, that's not good. Probably gonna see some issues when we pull the cover off. More shavings than I'm happy with, let's put it that way. All right, while that's draining, we can back these things off. Undo the jam nut. Back those off and start pulling the bolts off of the cover. Trying not to drop them in the gear oil. All right, that's all 12 of them. And we didn't drop any of them in the oil, so that's good. Next, we need to pry the cover off. So I can't remember if we've got a pry point on here, but if not, we've got these two little cutouts on the housing here where we can get a brass punch behind there and we can give it a whack to come off that way, because yeah, I don't think I've got any pry points anywhere to get a pry bar in here. So yeah, let's let the oil drain first and then we'll give it a whack. So we put one of the bolts back in on the top just loosely, so when we pry off the cover it doesn't just fall into the oil. And we're going to use a brass punch here so we don't damage the cover, but wow, that thing is on there pretty good. Okay, there we go. It's loose now. And the rest of the oil is going to come oozing out the bottom there too. So we can take our last bolt out now. And have a look and see if there's any carnage in there. And, well, I don't know, ring gear looks okay. Don't see any problems there. We'll take the bearing caps off. We'll have a look at the bearings too. This one I can see all the rollers look good. If we get in there a little closer with a flashlight, yeah, everything looks fine there. I don't see anything that would explain all the metal shavings. So yeah, we'll let this oil ooze out, and then we'll, well, we got to pull the axles out first, and then we can pull the bearing caps off, look at the bearings, and see if, yeah, see if there's any problems with the bearings that might explain the shrapnel in the oil. Stand by. All right, we got the official Strange speed sensor bracket in there now. I had to drill a couple of holes in the web. That was pretty painless. Measuring it out was tough because there was no room to actually drill from the top, which is where you'd want to go because that's where the slots in this thing are. So you have to measure it all out very carefully and then drill from the bottom. But we got it done. $20 US for this bracket. Shipping, exchange rate, taxes, 76 Canadian dollars for that bracket. Why do we do this stuff? I don't know. We're all insane. Anyway, next, rear end. So, full disclosure, we're putting the rear end cover back on because it's like a week and a half later. The racetrack postponed opening again, which should have been a good thing for me, but I'm off to Miles of Mayhem with a friend soon. I've been sick all week, and now I've lost track of my torque sequence because I can't talk and torque at the same time. Anyway, the long and the short of it is I have run out of time to do the gear change. So we're putting it back together. We are going to try and go to opening day of MPR, which is going to be a bit of a challenge to try and get back from Miles of Mayhem in time. But my goal is to have the GTO in the trailer all ready to go. Did I get everything? I can't remember. Get the GTO in the trailer, truck and everything loaded up. So the instant I get back from Miles of Mayhem, I can cannonball out to MPR, and we can be there for opening day and start clutch tuning. So we're going to save changing the ring and pinion and inspecting the axles and everything else until after that. Anyway, this video is probably long enough, and doing a ring and pinion change, and I can't change in all the bent axle studs and everything else we've got to do is probably a video within itself. Hopefully there's going to be a video from clutch tuning and from opening day at MPR, but we're going to wrap this video up here right now. So if you've watched this far, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate the comments and everybody that subscribes from all over the world. It always amazes me. As usual, be kind, be humble, smile like Kyle. See you next time. And practice what you're supposed to say first before you turn the cameras on, Ed. Clear your voice first. Oh, some good phlegm. Welcome back to the laboratory.